to oblivion.
О, добрый вечер. Давно не виделись.
Shogun? Wait, no. Kudos will be A.
Да, попробую угадать, кто из них это.
Oh, it's you two. It has been a long time. We have not seen each other since the resolution of the Tenryou Commission crisis.
И что же вытащило тебя
I'm
наружу?
making early preparations for what is to come. Last time we took a walk around Inazuma together, I witnessed the way the world is today. I was finally able to comprehend some things that I had never understood in the past. Since then, every time I encounter an obstacle in my thinking, I find myself having the urge to spend some time in the outside world. Might I remind you that I am not here to amuse myself. Rift hounds attacking the sacred Sakura. It brings back bad memories of that terrible disaster. 500 years ago, a great catastrophe befell Inazuma. Everything was engulfed in a pitch-black fog, and monsters ravaged the land. Countless lives were lost, and this homeland that the people had worked so hard to build barely escaped being obliterated entirely. The monsters committed many atrocities on Inazuman soil, and the Rift Hounds were always their advance guard. Their duty was to tear open a passage through space with their claws and teeth, and then call in even more powerful beasts.
5 лет назад, Кенни.
So you've heard of it too. That's an episode of history that I am loath to recall. Yes, Inazuma was facing many
Да,
great
предок,
crises at the
если
time.
что, это
Some were local in origin,
я и Мик.
while others came from the now fallen kingdom of Kanria. The disaster in Inazuma caused me great concern. I felt that I had to step in before it was too late, otherwise it would spread to all of Tevat. But my friend, Kitsune Saiku, reassured me that I had nothing to worry about. She would shoulder the responsibility of protecting Inazuma and mobilize all forces at her disposal to combat the threat. I could tell that, although neither of us acknowledged it, we both knew that the road ahead would likely end in tragedy.
So, Inazuma was attacked at the same time as when the disaster happened in Kanria?
Indeed. Countless monsters suddenly appeared throughout all of Inazuma. In the end, Kitsune Saigu sacrificed her life to protect the people. I never had the chance to see her one last time. But I would like to believe that she kept her promise to me until the very last. But even then, Inazuma was left more devastated than we could have ever imagined. Those terrible tragedies left great wounds that are still felt to this day, both on the land itself and in my heart.
Hey,
Та потеря, о которой говорила я.
Yes. For the longest time, I couldn't bring myself to face the pain of that loss.
Поболтать. Наверняка у тебя накопился множество вопросов. А тот чайный мастер точно тебе заварил чай?
right. Paimon wanted to ask that too. The almighty shogun that he described didn't sound anything like you at all.
I seldom had the time to drink tea. Any free time I had was spent practicing martial arts. So, in the vast majority of cases, the one he made tea for was the former Electro Archon, who was also my sister, Rayden Makoto. The philosophy of life that he shared with us just now, that was Makoto's view on reality. She always saw things that way.
You and Makoto had pretty different views, huh?
Indeed we did. It was the biggest difference between us. In her eyes, the most precious things in this world were dreams. The yearning for a better future held by living beings.
Ну, кадры, конечно, берут очень красиво.
They are similar, but not identical. When you came charging into the plane of Euthymia, I saw human aspirations light up the sky far above in the form of countless stars. This somewhat shook me. Now, it seems like she was right, while I took the wayward path. But the things we've seen today have brought back many memories for me. I've been reminded of many people, too. Kitsune Saigu, Makoto, and all the other friends who I watched pass even further back. Back at the Yashiro Commission, I kept the conversation reasonably light-hearted. But now, I'd like to broach a heavier topic, if I may. The events of 500 years ago not only robbed me of my friend, Kitsune Saigu, they also took Makoto away from me, for good.
She died in that disaster too?
Yes. She went to Conria alone, without telling me. Unlike me, Makoto was no martial artist. Whenever similar crises had arisen in the past, I was always the one to face them in her stead. But this time, the circumstances were so grave that Makoto had no choice but to leave me behind. Or perhaps it was more that she went ahead of me, put herself in front of me, so that I would remain hidden. In any case, by the time I realized what was happening,
Дальше расскажешь.
yes, it was too late. I arrived only in time to hear her dying breath. She had already lapsed into unconsciousness by that point, so all I could do was enter into her mind. As far as you're concerned, it would be somewhere similar to the plane of Euthymia. It was there that we bid each other a final farewell. I cried bitterly. Even in those final moments, I couldn't understand her actions. Why did she go to Conria first, and not I? Why did she keep me in the dark about it? Was it to shield me? It was there and then that I resolved to pursue eternity. As a testament to that decision, I saved her realm of consciousness just before it collapsed completely and brought it back to Inazuma.
That's quite a story.
When I returned to Inazuma, I was shocked to find that a great sakura tree had appeared on Mount Yogo. The tree that you know as the sacred sakura.
Разве она не была там всегда?
That's exactly what everyone back then told me as well. That it had existed since time immemorial. They were so matter-of-fact about it, and couldn't at all understand what I was so surprised about. No one questioned it. And yet, its presence contrasted so starkly with the area as I remembered it. It seemed as if I was the only one to have noticed it appear suddenly out of thin air. In the end, I simply had to accept that it was a miraculous effect of Makoto's consciousness. With the help of the sacred Sakura's power, I was finally able to overcome the monsters and quell the disaster in Inazuma.
Oh, while we're on the topic, since you experienced that battle in person...
Ты видела мою сестру?
Sister? I had heard that you were
Она
looking
там
for your
была
family.
как раз
You
в
mean to
день
say that
Кенви.
she was somehow involved in the Conria disaster?
Based on what we've learned so far,
Да.
seems so, yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't there for the whole thing. By the time I arrived, the worst of the fighting was already over. And also,
Ну
my
понятно.
mind was consumed
Вообще не видела
entirely
ничего
with the
этого.
plight of Inazuma and the fate of those closest to me. So,
Было
I'm
очевидно.
afraid I can't help you. Once again, please leave them to me.
Так, я хочу это видеть. Что-то сейчас должно случиться.
Are you sure you're all right? You're scaring us.
Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
Что-то с ней не так. Что-то с ней реально не так. Скорее всего, это связано именно с Сакурой. А?
Are you all right?
Это что такое вообще, блин?
I'm
Я
fine.
такого еще никогда не видел. Энергии, кстати, не хватает, конечно, пультануть.
Torn to oblivion.
Ну, другое дело. И урон побольше сразу стало. Да что за херня происходит? Может, да, они высасывают из нее силу? То есть что-то тут не так явно.
Leave this one to us.
Не просто.
My apologies.
Don't worry about it. Just we'll deal with them. She seems to have changed a lot since we last met her. Huh? What's wrong, eh? Come on, keep up.
Эй,
What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body. I can't move it.
давайте мы ее к Мику отведем, она может знать, что это такое.
The situation is
Нам
more
нужно
serious
вести
than
тебя обратно в город.
No need. She is calling me. The time has come.
Кто? Что? О чем она вообще?
I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami shrine.
Тури, ты в порядке?
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all. This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. The entrance to Rайден Makoto's realm of consciousness.
Это ловушка. Бедная Пайман. Ее втягивают в босс-файты. Похоже на царство в тюрьме.
Look over there.
Почему я в тюрьме не вижу? Ладно.
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Wait, Paimon knows that voice. Is that the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the
Ah.
essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Raiden A.
Have you finally defeated her?
It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong?
How the heck?
Марионетку невозможно победить.
Does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. Please, be my witness. During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands. Pass on my words.
Эй,
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you.
да, ты угадал. Именно. Рассказывайте. Я и Мика о том, что
Oh,
случилось.
okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce battle that doesn't even have an end date. Impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable. Presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. I say.
Что такое?
Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. Stay outside and provide
Она
what
говорит.
stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands.
О, потом оправдывается.
For my sake and for
Yeah.
Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Ну, пререндеренные катсценки всегда очень крутые. Поэтому готовьтесь к эпику.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years?
За эти годы. То есть она реально уже годы тут сражается, жесть. Но тут время, очевидно, идет немного по-другому. То есть понятно все слова. За эти годы ты
This
ничего.
is a duel to remember.
Это навевает воспоминания.
It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? Huh. So you're finally willing to... Stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations.
Честно, не знаю, как это работает.
Illusion shattered!
Естественно, первый раз прохожу это все своим.
This is the end. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure.
Это...
Hello, A. And
Да.
greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Rайден Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces. Makoto? I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness. Did you know what was about to happen in Conria? I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, A? I am so happy right now, because my final wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh?